Nüwa mends the sky. In the beginning, the world was vast and wild. The heavens had only just separated from the earth, and the land was still raw and unshaped. Towering mountains pushed through the clouds. Rivers carved new paths through the valleys. The air itself trembled with the weight of creation. Among the divine beings who roamed this young world was Nüwa, a goddess of boundless compassion. She looked upon the empty land and felt a deep loneliness. To bring life to the earth, she gathered yellow clay from the riverbank. With patient hands, she shaped the first humans. She breathed into them the spark of spirit, and soon they laughed, sang, and filled the world with warmth. For a time, harmony reigned. The people tilled the soil, fished in the rivers, and danced by firelight. Nüwa watched them with quiet pride, as a mother watches her children grow. But peace in the mortal realm was fragile. High above, two mighty gods were locked in endless rivalry. Gong Gong, Lord of the Waters, and Zhu Rong, Master of Fire, raged against one another, each seeking dominion over heaven and earth. Their battle shook the very skies. Waves roared, flames devoured forests, and thunder split the mountains. Then, in his fury, Gong Gong hurled himself against the sacred pillar of the world, Mount Buzhou. The mountain groaned and collapsed. The sky cracked open, tearing like silk. From the wound in the heavens poured chaos. Floodwaters crashed down, drowning valleys and villages. Firestorms rained from above, reducing forests to ash. Wild beasts broke loose from their dens and prowled across the land. The people cried out, desperate and afraid, as their homes, their families, their very lives were swept away. Nüwa stood on a lonely peak, gazing at the suffering below. Her heart ached. These were her creations, fragile humans, so small before the fury of gods. She could not abandon them. With tears in her eyes, she swore to save the world. Nüwa began a long and weary journey. She wandered through desolate mountains, across endless deserts, and along the roaring seas. She sought a way to heal the wound in the sky. At last, she discovered 5 sacred stones, each glowing with divine power. One blazed red like living fire. Another shone blue as the deepest ocean. The third gleamed yellow like purest gold. The fourth glimmered white as bright moonlight. And the last was black as the eternal night. Nüwa carried these stones back, their weight heavy but her resolve unshaken. She built a furnace taller than the mountains, its flames so fierce they seemed to lick the very stars. Day after day, she toiled. Sweat poured down her brow, her hands blistered, yet she never faltered. The stones melted into a river of radiant light. Red, blue, yellow, white, and black fused together, glowing like liquid rainbow. Sparks leapt skyward, illuminating her determined face. With the molten stones in her arms, Nüwa soared into the sky. Above her stretched the broken heavens, vast and torn, threatening to unravel the world below. One by one, she pressed the glowing essence into the cracks. Light spread across the void, sealing the wounds, driving away darkness. But still, the heavens trembled. The sky sagged without its ancient pillar. Nüwa knew she must do more. She called forth a colossal turtle from the depths of the sea. Its shell gleamed like mountains of jade. Its roar echoed like thunder. With sorrow but unwavering resolve, Nüwa cut its 4 legs and set them at the corners of the world. These became the new pillars of the sky, strong and eternal. Slowly, the chaos receded. The waters drew back into rivers and seas. The flames dwindled, leaving fertile soil behind. Forests grew green once more. The sun and moon resumed their paths, casting gentle light upon the earth. Humans emerged from the shadows of disaster. They gathered together, weeping with relief and joy. Children laughed again, families embraced, and songs of gratitude rose into the air. From that day on, peace returned to the world. And high above, the sky shone whole and unbroken, forever marked by the colors of the stones Nüwa had placed. The people never forgot. They built altars in her honor, telling their children and grandchildren of the goddess who saved them. Nüwa, the Holy Mother, the one who mended the sky. Her name, Her sacrifice and her love live on in legend, shining as eternal as the heavens she restored. In the very beginning, when the world was young, the gods lived high above on Mount Olympus. From their shining palaces, they looked down on the earth, ruling over everything. Up there was warmth, light, music, and endless feasts. But far below, in the cold and shadowed world of men, life was nothing but hardship. Mortals had no fire. When the sun went down, they huddled in darkness, trembling in fear. They ate raw meat, gnawed at roots, and shivered in the bitter winds of winter. The nights were long and merciless. Every spark of lightning in the sky reminded them that the power of flame belonged only to the gods. Among the Titans, there was one who could not ignore their suffering. His name was Prometheus, which means the one who foresees. He was wise, clever, and bold. And unlike the gods on Olympus, he did not look at mankind with contempt. He looked with compassion. He believed that humans were not weak creatures to be pitied, but beings with potential, if only they had the tools to rise. One gift could change everything: fire. With fire, mortals could cook their food, harden their weapons, craft their homes, and chase away the terrors of the night. With fire, they could create civilization itself. Prometheus knew this truth deep in his heart, and so he made a decision that would change the fate of the world. But fire was forbidden. It was Zeus's most guarded treasure. To touch it without permission was an unthinkable crime. The king of the gods had declared, mortals must never wield flame, for it would make them too powerful, too close to the divine. Yet Prometheus cared nothing for Zeus's decree. He believed that no law, no punishment could be greater than the suffering of humankind. And so, one silent night, he set his plan into motion. He climbed the heights of Olympus, where the sacred fire blazed in the halls of the gods. There he took a hollow reed, strong yet light, and held it close to the eternal flame. When the spark caught and the reed began to glow, he shielded it with his hands, guarding it like a newborn child. With the stolen fire hidden within, he fled from Olympus, racing down the mountain toward the world of men. The moment he delivered it to the mortals was unlike anything they had ever known. For the first time, flames roared up into the night. Shadows vanished. Faces that once cowered in darkness now shone with wonder. People cried, laughed, and danced around the fire. They learned to cook their food and feel the strength of hot meals in their bodies. They forged weapons, not from stone, but from gleaming metal. They warmed their children through the coldest nights. The world itself seemed reborn, but joy on earth meant fury in the heavens. When Zeus saw the gift that had been stolen, his anger shook Olympus. This was not just theft, it was rebellion. Prometheus had defied his will and handed mortals a power that belonged only to the gods. In his rage, Zeus plotted a punishment so cruel that it would echo through eternity. Prometheus was seized, chained, and dragged to the faraway Caucasus Mountains. There, on a lonely cliff of jagged rock, the gods bound him in unbreakable chains. His sentence was eternal torment. Every day, as the sun rose, a monstrous eagle descended from the skies. With sharp talons and a cruel beak, it tore into Prometheus's side, devouring his liver. And each night, as darkness fell, his flesh healed, only for the torment to begin again the next morning. There was no release, no death, no end, only endless agony. And yet, even as his body suffered, his spirit did not break. Bound to the mountain, he still held on to the fire of hope. For far below, in villages and cities, mankind thrived. The flames he had given them still burned. Every cooking pot, every forge, every glowing hearth was a reminder of his sacrifice. And Prometheus endured it all with a grim, silent pride. For he had proven that even a Titan could defy the might of Zeus. He had shown that compassion was stronger than fear, and that one act of defiance could ignite the dawn of civilization. And so his name lived on. Prometheus, the rebel who stole fire from the gods, the champion who gave light to humanity, the hero who suffered endlessly yet never surrendered. Throughout the ages, human beings have created myths to explain the greatest mysteries of life, why disasters happen, and how the world manages to survive them. These stories are more than legends. They are windows into how different cultures understood the relationship between nature, the divine, and humankind. In Chinese mythology, there is the story of Nüwa. When the sky split open and chaos threatened to swallow the earth, Nüwa acted. She melted down 5 colored stones and carefully sealed the heavens. Her effort was not about power or rebellion, but about compassion. She restored order, calmed the storms, and ensured that humanity could continue to live beneath a safe and balanced sky. Nüwa became a symbol of harmony, a motherly figure who protects all life. The Greek tradition tells a very different tale. Instead of repairing the heavens, Prometheus chose to give humanity something they had never possessed: fire. This was not ordinary fire, but the flame of survival and knowledge, stolen directly from the gods themselves. With it, people could cook food, forge weapons, and push back the darkness of night. It was the spark of civilization. But this gift came at a terrible cost. Zeus, ruler of Olympus, saw it as dangerous, even rebellious. He feared that humankind might grow too powerful, and so he punished Prometheus with endless torment. When we place these two myths side by side, the contrast is striking. Nüwa's story is about compassion, healing, and restoring balance to the world. She represents harmony with nature and the belief that survival comes through protection and order. Prometheus's tale is about defiance, courage, and sacrifice. He challenges authority, believing progress is worth any price, even eternal suffering. Together, these stories reveal two very different ways that human cultures have imagined survival. In the East, survival is found in cooperation with the natural order, through balance and restoration. In the West, survival is achieved through struggle, through rebellion, risk, and bold innovation. Both myths, though worlds apart, remind us of the same truth: that humanity has always searched for light in the darkness, whether through the gentle care of a goddess or the daring fire of a rebel titan.